Welcome to the Christian and Daniel Show.
It's about to get real, well, you know the deal. You won't have to guess how either of them feel. Bringing up the things you don't think to know. Never knowing where the conversation will go. Just a little more than anything goes. It's a Christian and Daniel Show.
It's Christian. Just Christian.
It's just
and Daniel.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the Christian and Daniel Show, everyone. It is Wednesday, July 14th. I cannot believe it's mid-July. I just paid rent. Where'd the month go? I'm in no time. I ain't got no money.
The first thing that we're halfway past the middle of the year.
Oh, that's right. It's also it's the seventh month.
It's not even like. Hi, Brandy. Welcome to the show.
What is going on?
Welcome. But yeah, it's for everybody watching. Welcome. It's the Christian and Daniel Show. If you're watching us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter, thank you for being part of the show. Remember that you can be part of the conversation, so make sure that you enter into the comment section. Make sure that you go in there and you can post your comments. If you're watching us on YouTube, will you do us a favor? Scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification button so you can get a notification of when the next shows will be. I don't really know what he's doing. We're so excited. Hello, Tammy. Welcome to the show. We're excited because we have a special co-host today.
I'm so excited. I love her.
If you are a fan of Put It Together Conversations, our other show, you probably saw her interview. She was there. And just in case you don't know who that nurse Missy is, let me give you a little sample.
Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things. Lord, don't give me strength, because if you give me strength, I'm going to hurt everybody. You know that. You know I'm violent. I know Mercury went out of limeade, I think yesterday. So I guess I'm trying to figure out why I'm still out here doing the dumb shit. Is it me? Is it me, Jesus? Is it me, Jesus? I have worn my slippers out of the house again. And I'm too lazy. I'm willing to risk being a social pariah over just the time it would take for me to go back and change and then come back out. Like I'm at that level of don't give a fuck. So how you doing? Y'all having a good day? Okay, bye.
There's nothing I think funnier than a Southern woman cussing, because
But then the immediate turn on to, so how y'all doing today?
How y'all doing?
Don't talk about me like I'm not here, Mama.
I love it.
Hi, friends.
Oh, the crew's here.
I love the crew. I love your crew.
Here. You know, they come in hard. They come in hot. They bring the heat. Those are my babies, my friends.
They love you.
Oh my God. I tell you, I go out in like my sleeping shorts and my t-shirt I slept in, and I'll answer the door. I'll go out to the car. I ain't got no shame. And it's true. I'm not ashamed to say I'm 51 years old. Who am I trying to impress? I made it to 51. Where are you at? That's when I look at people. I'm like, where are you at?
So the question is, were you really in your house slippers in your car?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I didn't have a doubt for 1 minute. Why would she make that up? That's silly.
Who could? Why would? Yes. No. That's so
Exactly. Now, where were you headed?
It's very authentic. What, Christian?
Where were you headed? In my head, I keep saying she was going to the Piggly Wiggly, but that's just in my head.
Now here in Atlanta, we don't have Piggly Wigglies, honey. We have Publix.
Publix.
That was errand day. So, I mean, that's grocery store. That's probably chiropractor. Probably to the Hallmark to get little baby Jesuses. Just random. But you know what's funny is truly nobody looks at your feet. They don't look, and honestly, they don't even care. So, and now I'm just doing it so regularly, like it's.
And I know I've seen memes with the people who say, I got no more fucks left. Like, I don't give a fuck. It's true. And after COVID and the year we had, the past couple of years, I don't care. And again, who are we trying to impress? If I'm going to Publix and I'm going to the 99-cent store and I'm going to Kohl's, as some people like to say, Target, who am I trying to impress in those
and the thing is now, like, I realize we're all buying slippers that look like they can, like they're a hybrid.
They're dressy.
Like,
They're
are
dressy.
they slippers or are they just kitschy, little trendy?
Oh,
You know,
And
so
now
they're a hybrid.
yeah, and now they're bedazzled and stuff. I mean, they do look good. And some of them have heels. You can get slipper heels.
Yeah.
I feel like that.
They're
I might
just taking
try
on a
that.
whole new, yeah.
The only thing that I cannot forgive anybody is pajamas in public. I do not. No. I will judge.
So there's borderline. So there's I don't give a fuck wearing my slippers out, but like my hair's done and like my face is beat. So it's like, come at me, bro. You can't have it all. But then there's like, I'm in a depression and I haven't bathed and I'm wearing slippers and I'm wearing pajama pants and I haven't brushed my teeth in 3 days. That's borderline. Like, that's where you need an intervention.
Thank you, Paula.
If you see that person and they haven't washed their hair, y'all ask them, how are you doing?
You better never go to Walmart.
Are you okay? Who hurt you? Do you need us to call somebody for you?
Did you just escape from the basement?
Do you need us to? Oh, they're in a depression. They need to be seen.
I feel like I
exactly.
go to somebody with my cards and go, do you need a reading? Do you need your chakras aligned?
Right. Oh, no, honey, they need everything aligned. Their funds, their fucking chakras.
Yeah, do we need to get in your drawers? Do we need to get in your drawers in your room and organize stuff so you can find it?
Right. No, that's just like borderline. Like I've sunk into a clinical depression, and we need help at this point.
I will say,
for those of you watching the show, what is your biggest fashion faux pas? What
like public fashion profile?
Yeah, what have you done in public that you're like, I can't believe it? I can't believe it.
What's that?
Hang on, now, hang on. I know the crew, so you need to rephrase that. We're not going to ask what have you done in public. What have you worn in public? I know my people. I once got busy in a Burger King.
I can tell you things I've done in public.
No, so what have you worn?
Yeah, what have you worn? Yeah.
Not what have you done? Because
we don't want all your dirty secrets.
No, I know these people, and they'll tell it.
Open to that.
No shame.
I like dirty secrets. Tell me your dirty secret.
Socks and flip-flops.
Not
Okay, were they flip-flops
flip-flops
with the little toe thing? Were they flip-flops with the little toe thing? Because that is no.
Brandy, she was probably having a rough day. It was Louisiana. It was probably hot and she was too tired. It was in Louisiana, it's too humid to care. You can't concentrate. She lives in South Louisiana. No, she was. We're gonna give her a pass.
Yeah, girl.
It's kind of hot. It is hot.
Yeah, the fact that you wear clothing in those climates, period, is.
That might have been what she was wearing. I know, Brandy. No, I'm just kidding.
This comment on the board right now. Behind a COVID mask, I will run to the store braless. You know the mask on your face does not cover your boobies.
But see, we really thought, I think we thought that we were behind the mask.
I go braless.
And we just, you couldn't see nothing from here down.
Costumes in August. What costume?
There you go.
What costume were you wearing? Yeah.
Yes, Henry, what costume were you wearing?
I think some people think that the
titties
mask
weren't incognito, Shelly. The titties weren't incognito. Y'all, how pretty is she, by the way? How much do we love Shelly? She's so beautiful. Okay, sorry, I got sidetracked. I love these people so much. Sorry. She's so beautiful. She can walk anywhere without anything. Nobody, all they see is her eyes. She's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I being male, I have never worn a bra. I certainly have had breasts large enough to wear a bra. Because I did have a fiance who was a triple E breast, and I put one of her bras on once, and I can tell you the relief was unbelievable. I didn't know how heavy those triple E's were, and also, but it gave me that experience where I'm like, okay, now I know why women wear bras. I get it. it's so much pressure. And at that time, I weighed 500 plus pounds, so I had pretty big breasts. I still have nice breasts, but they're perky now. They're not. They stand at attention rather than resting on my waist.
Right.
Which they were doing. So I could say, as larger girls, as larger men out there, we do have a concept of having too large of breasts and what it feels like. We just don't know once you put on that bra, that relief. Most men don't get that hit.
Right.
It's like for years I didn't get pedicures or manicures. Then when I went for the first manicure pedicure, I'm like, you women have been holding out on us. This is no longer a secret. I'm going to tell every man I know, get a manicure. It was so heavenly. We love it.
I'm dating one right now.
I'm dating tomorrow.
Do you have a big beautifying regimen, Missy?
A big beautifying regimen?
Yeah. Is there like a prep and a night regimen that you go through?
Well, so I use this particular skincare that's all natural. It's totally chemical free, and it's called Lime Life. It's like one of those direct sales company. Hey Sandy, it's one of those direct sales company like Mary Kay. Okay, it's a direct sales. And I've been using it for like 4 years, and it's totally chemical free. So that's the only skincare I put on my face. That's what I mean. How did I put? No,
You have beautiful skin.
I haven't had any needles yet. Yet. But so I just do face wash and serums. I do masks, but that's it. I don't do anything crazy. I don't do like a 12-step, $500 a month.
Who's got time?
Not
you know who has time? Kardashians, because they don't have to do anything for themselves.
I guess, but even they have kids. Hell, I don't know how anybody. So I just do like face wash, serum.
They ain't raising their kids. Someone else is.
Times a week, I'll do like this. We have this new line. It's a tea tree oil wipe. And it's like got lactic acid, so it's amazing. It's like a green smoothie. Anyway, so I just do that a couple of times a week. So that's it. I don't do anything crazy. I just wash and.
By the way, I get this amazing tea tree oil soap. It says all-in-one on it. I can't remember the name of the company, Bromwell's or something like that. It's like a really well-known organic tea tree soap. Someone takes one shower, maybe two with me in my shower, and that whole bar is gone. And they're supposed to be using the green bar, not the white one.
You need to talk to your boyfriends when I'm not there.
Yeah. They all know. My side pieces know which soap to use. You are the only one who doesn't seem to have any clearance on which soap to use.
I've been using this.
Just gonna start dusting shit. Like, don't mind me, don't let me. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Don't let me get in the ship.
I started using this lavender lotion at the end, and it's just like, even when I don't leave the house, there's so much dirt on that. At the end of the day, it's crazy. But how about you go? How about the folks at home? Do you folks have a routine? Is there something that you do?
There's some crew in here that uses the Lime Life.
I've heard of Lime Life. It's really basic.
It really is. It really will change your whole. It'll change your whole face. Yeah,
it's amazing. I use right now. I'm using Neutrogena foaming face wash, which I love because it's really gentle, and I'm using a facial toner their facial toner, which doesn't remove your natural oils. It just makes you matte and feels really clean. And I'm using. I'm like so ghetto, girls. I'm like using Dove facial cream.
Oh.
And I put the Dove facial because I love the smell of it. You know what it is? It reminds me of my mom, God rest her soul. Because she used to use that type of product, and she never used expensive stuff. So she always looked beautiful. Even at 97, she looked amazing before she passed. But
so much of it's genetics. They like
so
to
much.
Shit. So much of it is genetics, and that's what kills me about advertising and stuff. It's like, we give this false, and then people buy the stuff, and they're like, and then 3 weeks later, they're like, okay, I spent $1,000. Why don't I look like this? Because, honey, your bone structure, okay, the way your fucking DNA is set up, baby, you ain't never gonna look like that. Shit, she don't look like that. Okay? She don't fucking look like that. Okay, she don't look like that. Okay, honey, they sold you a fucking lie, and what you bought was some bullshit. Is why you don't look like that, honey. Nobody looks like that. She don't look like that. Okay,
That's true. She
I
doesn't.
feel like
You wouldn't recognize that model if she ran into you.
You have
in
to
an
have
elevator.
realistic expectations, but that's in everything. Life,
it is.
everything. You got to have realistic expectations. So
I
I'm
feel
just
like going up to people and going. I feel like going up to people going, "Will you ever be pretty?
You are not.
There's not enough cream."
Oh, Daniel.
No. For those who have not that mean, I would never do that.
The blemishes on your skin aren't just a sign of what's inside of you. Just tell you.
That's just
Don't mean anything else. Don't
no,
think anything
nobody would ever say that to someone. But I mean, we really have to be. But look, I don't consider myself. I mean,
Lighting in Photoshop.
lighting in Photoshop. But
It is. Or Facetune.
you got to really just do the. But you know what? This is such. You know what? This is such. I mean, can I ever do anything without getting into like the soul of it? You got to have realistic expectations. You got to set yourself. So if you buy this cream thinking it's literally going to change the structure of your fucking DNA and your bones, it's just not. So you have realistic expectations like, okay, I just don't want to sag as much, or okay, I just want a little lift, and I want my blemishes to fade, and I want it's like have realistic expectations, you know, and so you don't get disappointed.
I want to be like this when it's done. Put the cream on it.
No, honey, that was like a surgeon who did 24 years of residency, honey, that takes. It's not going to be a cream. I'm upset that my pronouns aren't on my name. My pronoun is friend.
We can change that.
My pronoun is friend. I mean, that's just, I'm not really
I love
upset.
it. That's great. Danielle, make a change. We are adaptable on the Christian and Daniel show.
I love
We
that.
adapt constantly to it.
My pronoun is friend.
It didn't change, Daniel.
It did. There it is. Give him a second, Jesus Christ, cheese and rice. Hot dog macaroni.
Brandy was saying.
Oh, I love some Avon. Oh, I love some. Oh, God, you get that catalog. They had a bug spray.
Oh, yes.
They had a bath oil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Does anybody sell Avon? Because I would buy some of that bath oil. And then I want to say they had,
are you selling Avon, Brandy?
Lip glosses. They had little lip glosses.
Oh, yeah.
They had 12 different, honey, Avon and damn Mary Kay.
I sold Mary Kay for a while. I got involved when they had they came out with their men's line.
Love that.
And I just ended up, I'm like, I don't need no men's line. The women's stuff works better. I don't know what's in the
anybody has any bug spray or skin so soft, look, I need y'all. Y'all know my P.O. box. Don't play. I need all of that. I don't. Do they still make it? I don't know. No,
I thought Mary Kay went out of business, but I guess they're not. They're just not as popular as they used to be. Or at least not in California.
Interesting.
I wonder when they make that stuff.
You saw Mary Kay also. Some people saw Mary
Kay.
Yeah,
my mom wore Mary Kay growing up. So my mom had an eyeshadow palette that it was skinny. It was like. And it was like you know what it looked like? Now we're about to unlock a memory here. We're about to have a memory unlock. You know, if you go to the Dollar General right now and you get them little watercolor coloring books and they got them little watercolor. Okay, you know that little strip of watercolors?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what this Mary Kay eyeshadow looked like. It was a little strip of like watercolor, and she had one little brush. God love her. That brush had to be 45 years old. God love her. No hairs left in it. Bless her heart. And you would wet the brush, and then you would wet the eyeshadow. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Mary Kay.
I do.
Okay. And you would wet the brush, and you would dip it in the eyeshadow, and then, Lord, she would just go to paint.
I know people who would dab it on their tongue and put it in, even after all those years of use.
You can buy it online. They're telling me you can buy it online.
No kidding. Wow. Yeah. Well, that's what she wore, and it looked like the damn watercolor paint palette, and it was water. I mean, you had to water it. Lord, I don't know. Mary Kay was doing the most. Is that woman still alive? Is Mary Kay still alive?
I don't think so. I think she'd be like 300 years old.
We'll have to Google that in a minute. Before we continue, I want to remind everybody you're watching the Christian and Daniel show. Our special co-host guest today is that nurse Missy from TikTok. You guys know her. And I want to welcome all of her crew to the show. Thank you for joining us. And I hope you come back and watch us again next week. We're talking about Mary Kay, Avon, and looking beautiful.
Love life. No,
Yeah.
no, just kidding.
Mary Kay died
with her pink car. Yes.
She died in 2001.
Oh,
but she sure did leave behind a legacy. Her name will always be said. Oh, Skin So Soft.
Avon still sells Skin So Soft.
Yeah, crew of Missy, thank you guys for joining us. You are so loyal. So I hope you guys will come back and watch us again.
Isn't that what the bug spray was called? Skin So Soft bug spray?
Maybe.
Not bug spray, but bug repellent.
I know it was the oil that you could put in your bath. Of course, you bust your ass. Lord, the bathtub be so damn slick, you fall and break a damn hip now.
I tried it once. It really is. It was deadly.
You were 8 years old, slipping and sliding in the bathtub. Hell, who cares? You had 8-year-old joints and knees. Shit, that's my problem. So decrepit now.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I just got in my shower today. I was in the shower and I'm like, ooh, my floor is slippery. This is now 20 years ago, I wouldn't even have thought about that. I would have just taken my shower. But today I'm like, I scrubbed my shower, but the floor is a little still slippery. What is going on? I go, I'm going to fall and break my neck and no one's here to hear me. I'll be like that lady on the show. I'm falling and I can't get up, but ain't no one here going to help me.
No.
That's a really good segue. Good topic. Thinking back to you when you were, say, 20, would you be friends with the 20-year-old version of you?
Who he asking? Not me.
I would.
No. What?
Oh, wow. Avon sells CBD? All right. Let's do an Avon party now.
Avon
is live. Look it.
The old peeled ducks on the bottom of the tub. Yes.
I used to think those were so dumb. Now I get it.
You're going to have to get you some.
I need to, because I guess my tub is losing its ceramic.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. We're going to blame it on the tub.
It's that damn old tub. It's just giving up on me. Missy, if you saw it, you'd feel sorry for it.
I know, baby. Baby, just go ahead and get you a shower bench and call it a motherfucking day. Treat yourself, bitch.
And I need those suction cup bar handles.
Okay, Queen. Yes, honey. Just get you suction cups. I'm suction cup year old. I'm suction cup years old. Yes, I'm suction cup and fucking shower bench chair years old.
Robin says that her 20-year-old was a jerk, so you wouldn't be friends with yourself.
Welcome to the show. That's not true. She's hypercritical.
So you wouldn't be friends with your 20-year-old version?
I would because I was funny. I was funny in 20. I was fun. I just was not woke, but I love God and love Jesus. Yeah, I was fun. I'd have been friends with me.
I wouldn't. I was a drug addict. I was embezzling money from the company I worked for. I was doing crazy stuff. I was not sane. I would be like, you are toxic. I can't be around you.
Oh, yeah, no, I would not.
Without that, I wouldn't be who I am today, though.
See, my 20, so that was 1991. The early part of my 20s, I would, because I was responsible. I paid things on time. I had 3 jobs at the time. I was going for it. Then I moved in with my first lover.
Did you have Howard at that time too?
No, I had a Mustang at that time.
Oh,
and Howard married, raising kids.
Sonata.
Wow. In your 20s, wow. That's a lot. Yeah, my early, the first part of 20, yes, I was so on it. And then I met my first boyfriend, and we moved in together. And that later part of 20, I would not stand myself. I would not. No. Christian, you had a drug problem?
Oh, hardcore, yes.
Yeah, we had an embezzlement problem.
That should be probably the override.
I feel like first come to money, then come to power, then come to cocaine. No, you know what? I would like to just as an addendum. I would go back. I would definitely be my friend, and I would be my best and try to talk some damn sense into myself. and tell my past self to leave that man, and that I could do better, and that I didn't have to spit in that shit. So I absolutely would have been my friend, but I would have been the friend that would have talked some real truth, and been like, honey, you're just not, you're only here because you're codependent, honey. Get some help and move on with your life. But I absolutely would have been my friend.
I'll say something. I would go back and tell myself, you're handsome, you're sexy, and you're worthy of love. You don't believe me, but you need to fake it till you make it. Because I did not think I was any of those things. And I look back now when I had a full head of hair and I looked totally younger. I look back and I'm like, okay, I was hot. Why was I not thinking I was?
Yeah.
And it's all self-esteem and abuse. I mean, I had a lot of abuse in my past. So
Yeah.
I would go back, and that would be a message I'd want to give to my past self is, you're worthy of love, and you are attractive, you are intelligent, and you can make something of yourself.
I'm kind, I am smart, I'm as important.
I'm as important.
I'm still straight place when I was in the army, but I could hold
She
my.
said she couldn't hold her liquor.
She could hold liquor. Crystal, in the end, isn't that what really matters? I had to drop all my mother drugged me.
Oh, Dwayne.
No, Dwayne.
That's something my dad did to me.
Wow.
That is pretty clever. I'll give him credit. That's pretty
I love the way
Honey,
he
go
phrased
to my website if you need help with soul coaching, honey. If you want to talk about it, www.nursemissy.com. I'm just saying.
exactly.
Not to
Rob.
settle
Right.
on
I wish I was as fat as I was the first time I thought I was fat.
Mhm.
Like, is that not a cliche? Like yeah, so
I
true.
keep saying, I look back when I was like 18 and I thought I was so hideously obese because that's all my dad ever told me is I'm ugly and fat. I look back at those years and I go, I wish I had that weight problem today. I wish I had that weight problem. I would be in amazing shape.
Yeah.
I was lettering in 3 sports. I played 7 instruments. I'm like, how much more do you want from a child? Like how much success does it take to be worthy?
Right.
Then you learn as an adult. You learn there ain't no amount. I would never.
Wounded people wound others. So
Yeah. But
I lost a lot of my confidence.
The Gen Xers, all of us Gen Xers, that is something that our generation does represent quite well. Is that we grew stronger from our adversity. We grew stronger from our negativity. And that is something I will always say, all these younger generations need to respect the Gen Xers because we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot of craziness.
Oh my God.
And they're not old enough to have been through a lot of craziness yet.
Are you reading that? I totally
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that.
Oh, God. I remember I used to be able to stay up all night and not even think about it and go to work.
Go to work still drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Dwayne said he's in love with me.
Oh, how can anyone not be? You're adorable. You are a beautiful, powerful woman. I love it.
Now, I want to say something in case for those of you who watch the show regularly. By the way, this is the Christian and Daniel Show. Thank you for all our friends watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of the conversation. But for those of you who are regulars to the show, have y'all noticed how Christian's Southern accent just kind of comes in and leaves all of a sudden?
I don't have a Southern accent.
I know. That's what I mean.
Accent.
Too many times to admit. Yeah. Yeah, she is amazing. She's just amazing.
She is.
Hello, Denise. How are you doing? That's what I'm saying. Like all of a sudden, you get a Southern accent when we have.
Has anyone ever noticed how Daniel comments about stuff right out of his backside and we have no idea what he's talking about?
Why are Dave Daddy's fighting?
Mommy and Daddy are fighting again. Mommy and Daddy are fighting again.
Y'all take care of your business. I'm not here.
I don't like it when Mommy and Daddy fight. I don't like it.
Crystal agrees with me. She knows you're doing it.
I am not doing that. I don't know what you mean, Daniel.
You don't know what I mean?
You're just being mean. There's no meaning in me.
Anyway, I forgot what the next topic is.
Anyway, back to our guest.
Back to our guest. So there was something that Missy said earlier that talking about. Okay, I'm just gonna
I'm gonna
vacuum
go
real
take my
quick.
goldfish for a walk.
I'm just gonna go vacuum my lawn.
Water my crystal. If anybody's looking for me.
I'm gonna go vacuum my lawn. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Anywho, yes. I feel like we need them. So one thing we talked about before the show started was about dishing it and taking it. We talked about dishing it out, and because I can be pretty sassy, but I'll be honest, I usually get away with stuff that most people would not say.
Yeah.
Especially if I start with, I say this with love, but, and then.
Anyone who knows Daniel knows when he says, I say this with love, everyone's like, oh, God, it's going to hurt.
Yes, Crystal. Yes, he has, Crystal. He has said, bless your heart.
Well, yeah, I love the phrase because I know what it really means. It's a very nice way to say it. And that way, I'm not being crass. I'm still being a lady.
You don't want to be, you're right. You can be classy and not be tacky and not be, and it's always about intent. Mm-hmm. It's always about intent.
It is.
I just know when I'm around, here's my aesthetic. My aesthetic is I love to drag folks. And if I'm around people dragging each other, I want to drag them as well. But honey, if you come for me, I do not play well with others when it comes time to dragging. So that's why when y'all start, I'm just like, because I'm like, Lord, we might not be friends after. Like it can get like I go from 0 to like, bitch, I'll cut you. And you can't not unsay shit. Like I'll start talking about your mama. It's bad. I feel like you're coming for my gizzard. I'll be like, bitch, what? Like it's not good. They've seen me come out my face. They have seen me come out. I came out my face earlier today, honey. When I tell you, I'll be like, yeah, and your daddy liked it last night. I mean, it'll be bad. Like it's bad. It's tacky. It's not cool. I lose all. I'm like, raisin what? No, I'm sorry. Who is this person? I don't know her. She don't go here. Honey, I don't. Hang on. Wait. Hang on, baby. Now it's like, it won't stop until one of us is literally dragged in a body bag.
Oh, that's good. As long as at the end you're all like, and how y'all feeling today?
But no, I won't be. I'll be like, oh no, see, we're not friends no more. Don't call me, block me. See, I don't have here now we really out here telling truth. There's no in between for me. Just honey, act like I don't exist because I don't exist for you anymore. Just keep it pushing. I don't exist for you anymore. And I feel like I should probably get some therapy. Maybe I should probably get some more counseling. I feel like maybe I need to make an appointment with myself. I feel like I probably need to just sit down with my.
Do you need a reading? Do you want me to pull some cards for you? Do we need a reading?
No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, yeah. So. You can block me. You can just go ahead and block me. And honey, you'll be like, hey, we just act like neither one of us ever existed. Honey, it's like the Men in Black when they shoot that little thing.
Oh yeah, the neuralizer.
Honey, I as soon as I put the phone down, I had already erased you from memory. And honey, we good. We just keep it pushing. That's definitely a core wound. I should probably sit with that later. I don't think that's healthy. I don't recommend that. I don't think that's a healthy coping mechanism. Y'all don't do that. I do that. Y'all don't do that.
It may not be healthy, but by God, it's funny. So let's just say
it's all funny games until you're sitting in your bathtub with fucking slippery peel and stick ducks crying yourself to fucking sleep at night.
I'm all sassy till the police put on the handcuffs, and then it's.
All of a sudden, you're humble, very humble.
Everybody likes to talk shit until it's time to get in the back of the fucking police car. Yeah, everybody's fucking funny until it's time to go to jail.
Officer, I was not going to hit him, but he mouthed it off.
He said it to me. He said
I want to hit him. Yeah.
These were playground rules we were going by. Playground rules. When people are sassy around me, and I kind of I know they're trying to. Because I was raised kind of to be like on it, it's a challenge. It's like, you're trying to burn me? Oh.
Right, and then that's when, it's not going to end well. See, that doesn't. I don't remain friends with people after that. That doesn't end well. I don't know how to do that, and then still be like, I can look at you the same way, and we're still friends after you just dragged me through the fucking mud. Because here's why. You know what? Here, let me cut the shit. Here's why. There's always a little bit of fucking truth. Let's cut the shit. Let's be fucking honest. I see. Well, Daniel, come on, y'all are intuitive. Y'all know energy. I know what the fuck. I took it how you fucking meant it. But now that I called you out, now you want to act like, oh no, that's not what I meant. No, bitch, that is what you meant. But you don't have the balls to say I never fucking liked you and then just delete me. No, you didn't have the balls for that. So that's why I say that, because I see it for what it is. Because you wouldn't be able to say those things to me if there wasn't a little bit of authentic, fuck you behind that. So like, let me do us both a favor. Let me go ahead and help you. Since you ain't got the balls, the testicular fortitude to do it, let me do it, because I do. Okay, so here we go. You can delete me. I'm gonna block you, and we just gonna act like we don't exist. Can we talk about something else? Because now my blood pressure is up, and I'm thinking about 3 or 4 people that I want to unblock, just so I can tell them again, hey, fuck you, and then block them again. So what's our next question?
Well, I was going to say, you were talking about testicular fortitude, which is actually a total. I think society has made such a mistake with that. Because if you breathe wrong on a man's testicles, we start crying and running for cover. And like you even brush them and we're on the ground gripping ourselves. What we need to say is vaginal fortitude. Because what comes out of vaginas and what goes in, and with the person who manages that, holy moly, that is the manager. That is the true strength in our society. Men's balls are certainly not the strong. If everything were as strong as our balls, everything would fall apart.
That's true.
Your house would be falling down around you at the slightest wind. So I'm like, we need to say, I wish I could reform society and say, stop talking about men's genitalia like it's strong. It's weak, and it even fails at a certain point, and it will not work anymore. But the women, the vaginal fortitude, now that's saying something.
Ovarian fortitude. You're right.
From what I understand, those work forever. And when they do retire, it's a huge deal when they retire, and then they go quiet and they're kind to you for the rest of your life.
They get a retirement party and everything.
Exactly.
Kitty, kitty, meow, meow.
Yeah, kitty, kitty, meow, meow. But that is where I learned someone, I think a comedian, someone at one time.
Betty White said, who cares? Something about having testicular fortitude. She's like, screw that. Balls are sensitive. Vagina can take a pounding and keep on going.
It spends a life taking a pounding one way or the other. So I believe that fully. I really have always believed in the strength of women. Well, my mom was amazing. And she was a strong woman. She grew up on a farm in 1921 before cars were even coming. And she told me about stories about going out to an outhouse. I'm on an outhouse? What? She and her sisters used to have to go out to an outhouse in the middle of winter in Wyoming, outside of Cheyenne, on her parents' mud farm, as she phrased it, to use the restroom. And I'm thinking, that's a tough woman. Because me, I would have blown up. Like my bladder would have blown up or something. Because I'm like, I ain't going out in the cold. I ain't going to sit on a stainless steel toilet in the winter. Yeah. I mean, talk about tough. Like just a few stories my mom told me about her youth. I'm like, oh
but
no.
You know what? They didn't have a choice, and what was the alternative? And they didn't know that they were. Yeah. They didn't know that sucked. They didn't know that in 30 years there was going to be indoor plumbing and life was going to be so much better. Like they didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, it is incredible. Like I think about.
Remember when we had a bag phone for the car?
Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't tell a shit, right? Like, it's a bag phone, bitch. Okay. Like we had a bag phone, and like you carry it with a strap, like it was like a messenger bag.
Oh, it was like as heavy as a backpack. It's like 15 pounds.
742 pounds. That's why our back's all jacked up now.
Exactly.
Carrying around a bag phone, like we was all that in a bag of chips. Not me, I was poor, but like I knew somebody that had a bag phone. So when I was with them, like I thought I was everything because by association, cool by association.
Yeah, and I remember when they said those big huge phones. that they only lasted like 7 or 10 minutes of talk time for 15 pounds of battery.
And $749 a minute.
That is insane.
$749 a minute. You had to be rich to have one because you had to be rich to fucking.
Those phones and their weight and what people care. That's why we needed the extra padding in the 80s. That's why we had
True story. My dad in the pickup truck had a house phone, and he plugged it into the speaker. So if you grabbed the phone, you could hear music because we had a pickup. And if you were in the back, he would pass you the phone so you could listen to music. And people thought that we were on the phone. So they kept thinking that my dad had a phone in his car. So they thought he was rich, but it was really just a speaker.
Out of the back of like a 90 of an 84 El Camino. Yeah.
That is really.
Speaking of El Caminos, do they make those anymore?
No. They discontinued those in 1982, I think.
God damn, that was specific, Christian.
I'm a car guy.
They were discontinued in September of 1942
September 25th.
They recalled the carburetor and the flux capacitor. But it's like, shit, Christian.
The last man to walk out of that factory was John Smith. He locked the door at 5:25, and that was the end of the El Camino.
Did they discontinue the Camino? When did they discontinue the El Camino?
For everybody watching, I want to remind you, thank you for watching us. This is the Christian and Daniel show. You're watching.
I'm sorry, it was 1987.
1987. You're watching us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. Thank you for joining us. I want to welcome all of Missy's crew. Thank you for joining us. She is our guest co-host today, and I think this is a good time to start talking about our picks of the week. So let's get started with Christian. Are you ready?
I don't agree. I don't think it's a good time to start.
You don't.
No. Hi everyone. I'm Christian of the Christian and Daniel Show. Thank you. My show this week was this adorable series. If you've seen the movie Love, Simon, then you're going to love Victor. Love, Simon was about a young man coming to terms with the fact that he was gay and coming out of the closet in high school and meeting what they kind of played off like was the love of his life. But your first love is never the love of your life, usually. I don't know. Some people have that experience. I did not. But Love, Victor is like a television series based on that. And it's about this kid, Victor, moving from Texas to wherever, Georgia, I think it was Georgia, where Simon had gone to school, Creekside High. And Victor's going there and he knows Simon and he's calling him, and Victor kind of goes through the same thing in the series that Simon went through in a movie. And but of course, Victor is Hispanic, he's not Mexican, but he's Hispanic. So he's dealing with a lot of different cultural issues. There's a lot more diversity in the TV show. And it stars Ugly Betty's older sister, Anna Ortiz, as the mom. And James Martinez plays the dad. It's on Hulu. There are 2 seasons. They are fantastic. And it's just basically a really great coming out story based on Love, Simon. Thank you.
So I don't watch a lot of TV because they took some of my favorite shows off, and I'm still protesting how angry I am for taking my favorite shows off like years ago. But so I went with a movie. So obviously, I say obviously as though I just figured that should be a given. My favorite movie, of course, all time, still Magnolias. I am from North Louisiana, and this movie is actually, well, it was filmed primarily in Natchitoches, Louisiana, which is a beautiful historic town. But what's really great and what a lot of people don't know is that Shelby, so it's a true story, and Shelby was an actual nurse in LSU Medical Center where I worked as a nurse for the first time for the first 7 years of my nursing career. She was a nurse there, and actually one of my nursing instructors, one of my favorite nursing instructors was actually Shelby's diabetic teaching nurse when she was learning about her diabetes anyway, because that's what Shelby had, was diabetes. I love the way Southern women are portrayed in this movie. I love that they don't paint us as just stereotypical, dumb, incompetent women. I love that these are strong women one of my favorite quotes of all time is from the movie where Shelby is talking to her mother about wanting to have a baby. Shelby's married and she wants to have a baby, and because Shelby's severe disease of diabetes, it was pretty significant. If she was high risk because she had a kidney transplant. So she was very high risk with getting pregnant. It was going to be very dangerous. And so she's having the conversation with her mother, and she says, and of course her mother, Sally Field, is very upset that she would put herself at risk, that she would risk death just to have a baby because Sally Field, of course, just wants her daughter there. But she doesn't realize, of course, Shelby wants to have a child with her husband. And she just doesn't understand why she would risk her life and risk considering everything she's been through. And Shelby sits her down, and her mother was very mad. Sally Field was really very upset with her. And Shelby sits her down. She says, Mama, I'd rather have 30 minutes of something wonderful than a lifetime of nothing special. And as a child, when I heard that, that stuck with me. That stuck with me. And I've tried to carry that in my heart my whole life, knowing just making sure those moments count as something wonderful as opposed to a lifetime of just nothing special. Taking the chance, taking the risk, especially when it comes to love.
Cool. So my pick of the week, folks, I mean, how can I follow that? But my pick of the week is This Is Pop. It's an 8-part series on Netflix about music, and it takes you all the way back to how something started, like the influence that ABBA had on music, the influence that the Boyz II Men had on music. And again, it's 8 parts. Go and check it out. You'll learn a lot about the history of music, how it influences what we listen today, and where a lot of bands and groups got their tone, their music, their sound from. So go check it out. It's a quick viewing. It's really easy to follow, but it's a really great 8 episodes on Netflix. Go check it out. It's really interesting. So find it. And that's my pick of the week.
Thank you. There's three great things. 3 things. Go watch. Thank you. And where is that playing, Daniel?
I said it's playing on Netflix.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that.
Well, I said it now.
There you go.
Welcome back.
And by the way, Missy, did I hear you right? That you actually have personal connection to Still Magnolias?
Well, I mean, so yeah, so I had an instructor. In fact, she was my instructor in my first clinical. So that's like the most critical. In fact, it was actually my most substantial clinical was with my instructor, this particular instructor. And she was the diabetic teaching nurse, I guess, when Shelby had gotten diagnosed. Of course, please don't let me tell that story. I don't know. But she was Shelby's diabetic nurse. And she helped her learn. And then, Shelby became a nurse. And her husband wasn't a lawyer, by the way. It's my understanding that he was a doctor at the hospital. Yeah, but I don't remember if he was like a NIC neurosurgeon or something. Louisa Boudreaux.
I got the T-shirt, people. I got the T-shirt.
So, is there really a Chickapin Parish? Is that what it was called?
Chickapin. Yeah, I think so. Google it. She done Googled everything else. There's so many parishes. I can't remember them all. Some of them are pretty obscure.
But that is so cool that you have like this connection. It's amazing.
Well, I mean, it was so this instructor, and I was very close to her. In fact, I remember her car was broken down for several weeks, and so I would drive her home on the way to my house. I would drive her home and we got to spend quality time together, which was amazing because she actually passed away several years later. I say a few years later after that, she passed away from complications due to diabetes. And I really cherished those times together, especially during that clinical rotation, because it was my first clinical rotation ever. And I had a big moment where God showed me that I was exactly where I was supposed to be, and the exact right, like it was just this big heart opening where I went, dear God, yes, this is what I'm here to do. So she was her diabetic and teaching nurse. So I don't know when Shelby had gotten diagnosed. I don't know the specifics of it, but yeah, she was her. Yeah, and then I never actually worked with Shelby. That was way before I came along, obviously. but I worked at the same hospital.
Wow.
So, yeah, and then living in Natchitoches, which if you've ever heard of a Natchitoches meat pie, if you ever have an opportunity to have a Natchitoches meat pie, get 12 of the sons of bitches because they're fucking phenomenal. And then Natchitoches was only an hour from where I lived, so we would go into that. They still have like the brick roads, like it's very dated, like but in a very cute historical way. And every year, it's just like in the movie, they have the Natchitoches Christmas lights. That's where you would go, and they would have the Christmas festival.
Wow.
Maybe we could do a crew Still Magnolias tour one day in Natchitoches for Christmas.
Oh yes.
So we're coming for Christmas. Then that's what you're saying.
And we're gonna eat meat pies, and we're gonna go to the festival.
Oh my god! Oh
Oh my god! And we can dress as our favorite Still Magnolia character. I'm obviously Dolly. Fuck y'all. I'm Dolly.
No, you can be Dolly.
Bitch in here to be Dolly. I'm Dolly. We all know.
I don't want to be Dolly.
Right? Like you know I'm Dolly.
I've always wanted to be Sally Field.
Okay,
I want to be Olympian.
You're fucking dramatic enough for it, Daniel. You can absolutely be Dolly. And I say this with all the love.
I take it. I'll take it.
I love you, but
I love you.
Yeah, I can see Christian as Weezer.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah. Oh my God, y'all! How much fun would that be?
Christian's never been out that area.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, I've flown in there, but that's it.
I'll be the armadillo.
He said I'll be the armadillo.
Oh, I love that. That would be so great to see someone dressed up as an armadillo thing with a big
like an autopsy.
The state fair, the state fair.
Oh yeah,
we're in Texas. Are you, Denise? Where in Texas are you? Because I'm from Texas. So what part of Texas?
Denise, where are you?
What part of Texas? Because I grew up in Dallas, and we went to the state fair every year when I was growing up.
And you know what?
Morning. I always have to say that because I
just mentioned that. Like, honey, you just mentioned that the other day that you wanted to go. You know, we got to go to Texas for the state fair. Yeah. So, but I mean, I'm happy to go to any state fair. We went to the state fair in Tennessee, and that was quite a bit of fun. I'd never been.
What city are you in, baby?
Who, me?
Neeser. I was at her name's. Well, she goes by Neeser. Up from
New Braunfels. You're in New Braunfels. Oh, I love going to swimming in Braunfels.
Oh, I know where that is.
I like going to Braunfels for swimming.
For what?
Swimming. They have the water
That's
park.
Right. That's where the water park is that you were telling me about last time when we went to San Antonio.
Yeah, I so miss it.
Oh wow,
so miss it.
It's so cute. I've driven enough around Texas with Daniel that we pass by stuff. Like we've driven all over Texas, and we go from Dallas to San Antonio, South Texas, McAllen.
So, and it's just weird because this morning I was in a conversation with the lady that does energy work out in Texas, and I worked for a travel agency for a while in South Texas. She worked for the competition. They worked across the street and down the road. Oh. She was the owner of our competitors. So we knew of each other. Never met. I met some of our employees because we used to hang out at bars. Never met. 20 years later,
wow,
they're connecting here.
Wow.
That is serendipity if we ever saw it.
I know.
So I actually did. Okay, so I did a little stand-up comedy. I did a little stand-up comedy for about a year. And my career ended by my choice. I like to end, honey. I like to know. I read the room, honey. I leave on a high note. So I actually did I did 4 shows in Odessa, Texas, Odessa, Midland, with Bobcat Goldthwait. I opened for Bobcat Goldthwait. I did 4 shows, and one of the first lives that I ever did on TikTok. This girl named Carla, her name was Carla. She said, "Hey, Missy, hey, from Odessa, Midland." And I was like, "Girl, shut the hell up." And look, there ain't shit to do in Odessa, Midland. So I said, "Girl, how long have you been in Odessa, Midland?" She said, "Oh, I've been here all my life." I said, "Okay, do you remember when Bobcat Goldthwait came and she said, "Oh yeah, I went." And I said, "Does this look familiar?" She was like, "Oh my God." So, it's just those full circle moments that are just like, where you're like,
Right.
wow. And now she'll still pop up in a live every now and then. She goes, "Melissa, it's Carla from Odessa." And I'm like, "Hey girl." And it's just so funny because, it was Odessa Midland, and it was,
Yeah, it's
I don't know
Odessa.
how many years ago that was. It was a long time. Hang on, let me show you. I'll show you the flyer and everything. If you want.
I laugh because I say the sit towns are so small. They combined them, Odessa Midland.
Midland, Odessa.
Well, yeah, Midland, Odessa. Yeah, because they're just so close together and there's really no differentiating one from the other. I say that's kind of shitty. I'm sure if you live there, there's a bit of a differentiation, but.
Well,
It's
my
like
ex who still lives out there lives in Big Springs, which is right outside of Midland. So I've been there several times. Adrian lives in Big Spring, which is right outside Midland.
Isn't that where you went that one time during the summer?
Yeah, I go visit him and his family in Midland, in Big Springs. So yeah,
that's what I thought.
He's the only ex that I still talk to.
Because Odessa Midland is where you flew into.
Yeah.
Now I remember. Now I know why I know the name.
Yeah. So hello, Texas. All of y'all in Texas. Wow. So we're down to the last 5 minutes.
Time flies.
I know. And you know what?
I'm having so much fun.
I forgot to get your info but you're on TikTok. You're
That Nurse Missy on TikTok, That Nurse Missy on Instagram, Missy.com, www.missy.com. You can sign up for my free Zoom classes from there. You can schedule appointments. You can, there's a resource page with resources for like domestic abuse, Trevor Project, suicide hotline, all kinds of free resources to tap onto. As well as I have a video, our video from our last event, as well as another podcast I was on. I will be dropping my own podcast in September. So sign up for the free Zoom class email because I'll announce that when that drops. But it's called Empowered Connections. It's not even searchable yet, but that's the name of it. So yeah, just I'm just trying to keep up with life, man. Just trying to make sure. Thank you, love, That Nurse Missy. Just trying to keep going with the flow with grace, and
that is awesome. That was Missy. We really would love to have you back on the show again. Did you have fun?
Anytime, y'all. I just love y'all.
You can see how different this is from the conversation show.
Yeah, and I was very much. And this was like I was able to just relax. Like, look, I came in like my, my Care Bear T-shirt. It's like, okay, we're just chill. We're cutting up. Like, it was fun. It was nice to just
to let everybody know. Missy was a little nervous when we were starting. We were like, girl, just relax. It's chit chat with the girls. Just hang out with the girls.
Just shooting the shit with the girls. Yeah.
What do they call it? The ladies who lunch.
Yes.
Now,
night. I love it.
Before we sign off, I want to remind you all that we have shows on the network. Make sure you check us out every Wednesday here at 6 p.m. for the Christian and Daniel Show. On Fridays, we've got the Card Devo. And on Saturdays, it's Putting Together Conversations with 2 episodes at noon and 5. And make sure you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And if you're watching us on YouTube, do us a favor. Scroll down, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you'll get notified every time a new show airs. Because you can also catch me in the mornings on TikTok live doing readings, and those get posted on the YouTube page in case you missed any of it. Also, because I talk about it every time, Grumpy Bunny and the Coach Game. You can find it at any of these 5 establishments. It's written by me and illustrated by Jennifer and Vivian Gatch. It's a meditation book, a guided meditation for kids, but also for adults. So go check it out, and coming out in Spanish soon. So make sure you get those. When I say the last little hellos and so fun. Thank you so much. I want to thank the crew.
Thank you, crew.
Thank you for joining us. And Missy, this will not be the last time you come join us, I hope.
No, we really want you to come back.
Let me know. I'd love to. Thank y'all so much.
We got so for everybody out there. Again, this is the Christian and Daniel Show every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come join us with a special co-host every week. And if you would like to be a co-host and you think you can handle us, shoot us a message and we'll get in touch with you to bring you on the show. for now, I want to thank all of you for joining us. Please come back next week and watch us. For now, thank you guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye, crew.
Bye.